Hey everybody, welcome to Get Busy Watching. I'm your host, Honest Dan. Let's talk movies. Welcome to my rapid fire romance and comedy edition. Let's get started. This quirky rom-com is about this boy and this girl who are both overcoming ugly breakups, and in their silly antics of putting these events behind them, they potentially find romance in each other. This might be a hit and miss for a lot of people. The humor is very British. It's not the most laugh-out-loud comedy I've ever seen, but it makes up for it for being really charming and likable. Rom-coms live and die by their writing, and far too many these days think that as long as you have highly paid actors in the lead, with even the slightest range in emotions and sense of comedic timing, that's all that's needed. Well, this goes above and beyond. Neither David Johnson nor Vivian Oparah have the most extensive credits under their belts, but if they don't become household names in the future, then the world of cinema is done a huge disservice. They are so much fun to watch for varying reasons. Johnson brings such dimension to Dom, whom on the surface is an emotionally unhinged dude who is way too forgiving for his own good, but isn't afraid to call out wrongdoing when it's really warranted. And Oparah brings such humanity to Yas, as she's the more assertive and unpredictable one, but as the story progresses, you learn that she's just as insecure as Dom is, if not more so. Truly opposites attract, and that's what makes their chemistry so heartwarming. There's also a genuine honesty about their respective personalities that obviously highlights their positive qualities, but is critical of their negative ones. I will criticize the questionable use of the wide lens and incessant fisheye filter. And yes, there's formula here. There's an end of second act breakup, and I feel like too much is wrapped up a little too clean, and it certainly didn't end the way I would have preferred. It's a damn fine rom-com, despite its shortcomings and questionable artistic decisions. The writing, the acting, it's all too good for me to not recommend this. If you have Hulu, check it out. My honest rating for Rye Lane, a strong 4 out of 5.
You know you're very...
Peng? Refreshingly disarming.
You ask a lot of questions.
I'm interested in people's messes.
What makes you think I've got a mess?
Everyone has a mess.
Jonah Hill falls in love with Lauren London and are set to marry each other. When they meet the parents, it's clash of the cultures as the two lovers try desperately to relate to their respective parents and bless their marriage. Oh my god, this was insufferable. Had it not been for a few cutesy lines that actually kind of made me laugh and smile, I would have written this off entirely as a horrid film. What few genuinely funny scenes and lines there are, they do nothing to offset everything else. This is tiring and exhausting. The black characters are constantly pulling the victim card. The white characters are constantly out of touch and tone deaf, even if they're the characters that are supposed to know better. It's incessant, and scene after scene, I had to pause and calm down lest I start screaming and wake my entire neighborhood. No one has anything interesting or challenging to say. The thoughts and ideas are so surface level that I'm pretty sure I've seen half-hour cartoons do a better job of exploring racial tension in creative ways. The comedy takes a nosedive off of the cringe tree and ruthlessly hits every branch on the way down with a violent, bloody splat that I would swear this makes Guess Who look like a masterclass in cinema. I'm so sick and tired, man. This is not provocative. It's elementary. Not recommended. My honest rating for You People, a 2 out of 5. Saved only by 1 or 2 cutesy lines.
Although, you know, if you think about it, I think the blacks and the Jews have a similar struggle.
Yeah.
No, so you are kind of...
J-Lo and Josh Duhamel are about to get married, but their island wedding is crashed by pirates. Their families are held hostage while they struggle to stay alive and stand each other. Ugh. This thing has one thing going for it, and only that one thing. And if it wasn't for that one thing, I would have called this an atrocious movie. It's violent. That's literally the only thing I enjoyed about it. Maybe a few funny moments here and there, but that means so little for how stupid the writing is. The characters are complete morons and utterly annoying. Jennifer Coolidge, I love you as a person, but your roles are obnoxious and you play such dumbass characters. You don't have to, girl. The main characters are unlikable, and the entire duration of the story, you're wondering why they're getting married at all. Both are wildly insecure, which should have been addressed while they were dating. All of their ideas for survival make Kevin McAllister look like Rambo. Does anyone else feel like the only reason Josh Duhamel is here is because neither Ryan Reynolds nor Timothy Olyphant were available? It's painfully unfunny. The green screening is atrocious. The makeup can be downright laughable, and some gags go on for way too long. I enjoyed the violence. Not a lot of rom-coms go that far, and when they do, it's satisfying. But let's face facts here. If the only reason I enjoyed myself is because my inner sociopath was satisfied, then that's hardly a glowing recommendation. I do not recommend this in any way, shape, or form. My honest rating for Shotgun Wedding, a weak 3 out of 5, saved only by the violence.
Dad? Did you shoot me? Stop shooting our sister!
Joey Lawrence is engaged to a woman he no longer connects with. This pretty lady has trust issues. They both have dogs. They meet and their budding romance complicates things. How is this not a Hallmark movie? It sure is structured like one. It's sappy, it's formulaic, it's got pretty people that fall in love and have no real high-stakes problems. It's your prototypical rom-com. This is lucky, because I do enjoy the goofy charm of Joey Lawrence. Thank you, Melissa and Joey. And while I can't fathom why the late Anne Hesh said yes to this, God rest her soul, she is painfully charming as well. But if the actors were 20 years younger, this could have easily been played by teenagers in a live-action Disney tween romance and have the same impact. Most of it is harmlessly by the numbers. Endless smiling and giggling, no one having any real problems for the audience to care about. But I am getting tired of the cliche of the best friends who pressure them to get out there and find someone to be with when they're just enjoying the single life. Of course, we have the sassy black best friend who isn't as pretty as the main character, though give Carl McDowell credit, he plays it up much more likably than even better, more well-known actors have, arguably making him my favorite character in the movie. And yes, there's an end of second act breakup where they eventually get back together in the end. Oh my god, what other options are there? I don't hate it, but if you've seen a Hallmark movie, you've seen this one. Watch it with your aging mother, otherwise, give it a pass. My honest rating for Frankie Meets Jack, a 3 out of 5.
Get them together, do a little play date in the park or something.
Yeah, I could totally meet you at the park. For the dogs.
For the dogs, of course, yeah.
Reese Witherspoon and Ashton Kutcher are best friends of 20 years. He's looking after her kid while she's completing a college course out of town and maybe acknowledge their own feelings for each other. The writer and director of this movie, Aline McKenna, congrats on your directorial debut by the way, also wrote Crazy Ex-Girlfriend, one of my favorite TV shows of all time. What in blazes happened? Why does this suck so much? If I wasn't such a huge fan of Witherspoon and didn't find the mini Crazy Ex-Girlfriend reunion enjoyable, as well as the cameos of other underrated TV actors and Tig Notaro, I would have written this off entirely. This whole story is just watching these two friends live in each other's lives and make one dumb move after another. One of the big subplots is realizing that they don't tell each other everything when they thought they did, but then start doing things on their behalf without telling them, and in the process, violating trust. Kutcher wanted to be a big novelist but gave up despite writing a manuscript which Witherspoon finds. She decides to get it published without telling him. He knows she doesn't want her son to try out for hockey, but he takes him anyway because that's what he wants. It's a cute gesture, but it's obviously stepping out of bounds. You see what's happening here? This whole movie is just that. There's scenes that are boring as hell, a whole lot of tell don't show, a huge cinematic no-no, and is wholly disposable. This is not the best rom-com I've ever seen. In fact, it's pretty bad. So unless you're an uber fan of the two leads, I do not recommend this. My honest rating for Your Place or Mine, a weak 3 out of 5.
And you picked me up from rehab not once, but twice.
Yeah, I know. I'm a really good friend, but I didn't...
Woody Harrelson is a disgraced assistant basketball coach who must find redemption by coaching the Friends, a team of Olympic basketball players with Down syndrome. This was so close to being as perfect of a sports comedy as I could ever ask for. But frustratingly, it succumbs to needless formulaic writing. The only thing I really wasn't into was the Hallmark-esque romance between Harrelson and his romantic interest played by Caitlin Olsen. Thank God for their respective talents and chemistry, or else I would have written it off completely as two grown adults who act more like teenagers. Beyond that, the real stars are, you guessed it, the Friends. They truly are the heart and soul of this flick that brings so much charm and lovability, the favorites obviously being the adorably psycho Constantino, played by Madison Tevlin, as well as the hardworking Benny, played by James Day Keith, who wants to play with his team, but is constantly thwarted by his manager at the day job he works at. There's plenty to relate to. It's charming, it's funny, it tugs at your heartstrings, the acting is wonderful all around, despite the formulaic romances and other subplots. But it is a true-to-heart, feel-good movie, and I highly recommend it if you have Amazon Prime. My honest rating for Champions, a 4 out of 5.
Good job!
I have Down syndrome. I'm not deaf. Got it, Slick?
Got it.
Based on true events set in 2017, lifelong friends Sally Field, Lily Tomlin, Jane Fonda, and Rita Moreno win tickets to go to the Super Bowl to see Tom Brady in action, and hijinks ensues. It's a Hallmark movie with a budget. Despite the silly antics and the try-hard comedy scenes, I can't deny that the four leading ladies are fun to watch. The real story is nothing this grand. It was just four friends who enjoyed Sunday football together. The plot is predictable, easily able to call out certain reveals almost as soon as the mystery is set up. Of course, there's an old ladies getting high scene. Of course, there's topical humor by throwing in cameos galore from TV personalities like Guy Fieri. Of course, there's supposed to be a big ol' emotional centerpiece to tug at your heartstrings. And geez, you would think that the movie would have had a satisfying ending by the 1 hour mark. For all my narrative complaints, if you're a fan of cute old ladies getting into trouble and are a fan of the cast, then their charisma and chemistry with one another will save this for you, especially Field and Fonda, but each has their moment in the sun. It's dumb, but it's also harmless. Something to watch with your mom to giggle at and kill off a couple of hours. Otherwise, you're really not missing much. My honest rating for 80 for Brady, a 3 out of 5.
Not if you don't wear it around your fanny. If you wear it like this, it's a strap-on. There, and I will keep them safe.
Based on true events set in the 80s. A drug dealer's cocaine goes missing in the Georgia mountains, which is snorted by a black bear, which then goes on a killing rampage. See, Elizabeth Banks, you can do it! All you had to do was appeal to everyone instead of no one. This was a lot of fun. Dumb, stupid, that's all a movie has to be, girl! The movie is exactly as advertised and doesn't pretend to be anything else. Maybe a commentary about parenthood if you wanted to really stretch things a million miles. The acting is pretty solid from Kerry Russell, O'Shea Jackson Jr., with standouts being Ray Liotta for obvious reasons, Alden Ehrenreich as a sobbing deadbeat father, and Margot Martindale as a horny park ranger with an itchy trigger finger. What I really found unexpected was how you can see hints of the bear having its own personality. The violence is hokey but pretty gruesome. The VFX aren't anything to write home about, but this isn't Avatar, y'all. It's better. Half the runtime, twice the entertainment value. The real events aren't as dramatic. The bear snorted the cocaine and just died. No killing rampage, nobody died. Based on true events has never been more highlighted than right now. It's dumb, it's goofy, but it's a hoot and a holler, and I highly recommend it. My honest rating for Cocaine Bear, a 4 out of 5 for entertainment value.
Kill it! Not to treat a big fucking bear! Shut up! Why is it chasing us?
Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I really appreciate it. Have a great day, stay safe and healthy out there. Hope to see you soon.